final 2024 through 25 edition of the Preaching the Prodigy podcast. We are here ready to go, finish off the season and preview the national championship. We're kind of wrap things up, kind of bookend of the season on what has been a very exciting college football season, a weird one with the 12-team playoff, but all in all,
one that couldn't end more nauseatingly than it does.
Yep.
Monday night.
Meteor game between the Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes. We really don't want either team to win the national championship, but if it came down to it, we would much rather have Ohio State lose the national championship than Ohio State win. So us Michigan Wolverine fans will be rooting hard for the Irish, and hopefully Marcus Freeman can get it done.
I'm not even going to be rooting that hard for the Irish.
Root against Ohio State, I guess.
I don't even know if I'm going to be really rooting. I don't really even have a whole lot of desire to watch the game.
Let's just hope for well, it'll be fun to see Ohio State lose. That would be exciting. But let's just hope for like a slot fest, dumb, like 16-12 game in which Notre Dame wins. That'd be great. But the bright side is if Ohio State wins, we'll still be the national champions, since we're the only team to beat Ohio State. I mean, besides the Oregon game, but what happened in the rematch against Oregon in the Rose Bowl technically proved that Ohio State was better than Oregon. So Ohio State is favored by 8.5, 9. We're going to go with 8.5. Over-unders at 45.5. Most people seem to believe that Ohio State is going to win this one. It's just a matter of will they cover those 8.5 points. You go first since you.
Well, we've been saying all year that we think, at least I've been saying, after Texas's first loss to Georgia, I've been saying I think Ohio State's going to win the national championship. Go back, watch the tape. I've been saying it for quite a while. And I still think that's the case. I think they're going to win. Whether or not they cover is sort of immaterial to me, but just for that bit, I'm going to pick Notre Dame to cover. Why not? Let's just go with it. That's the only thing you have left, like you said, to root for. I see that Ohio State did adjust to the adjustments of Texas, which were we're not going to let number 4 beat us. We're going to take away Jeremiah Smith. And so Ohio State did use G. Scott more often, a lot more Emeka Egbuka, and then they leaned on the run game. I think they're going to go back to Jeremiah Smith tonight. I think that they're going to react to the reaction, and I think that he has a big game tonight. But I also think that some of these guys who've been in the program for a long time, I think your Trevion Hendersons, your Jack Sawyers, JT Tuimalaus, are going to step up. They are going to want to etch their names in history as the pants list winners of the national championship. They have no gold pants. They never beat Michigan. But they will hoist the trophy tonight, and I'm going to predict Ohio State to win this game 34-26.
34 points.
I like that number, 34-26.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Both these teams had to bounce back from 2 of the 3 biggest upsets this year in college football. Notre Dame.
What would you say they were? Vandy over Bama?
Yeah, Vandy
over Bama. But looking back, was it though?
Dude, that was chaos.
That
was crazy.
Looking back at Bama, was it? I think these are the 2 top upsets.
I think it is because that was more of a mental thing for Vanderbilt to finally get over the hump of beating Alabama.
At Vandy, though, and Alabama turned out to be okay.
Tell me a bigger upset.
I'm saying these Northern Illinois. I'm saying I agree, but I'm saying they're 2 of the top 2.
Okay. Well, the Vanderbilt one sticks out in my mind. They're 2 of the best 3 upsets because Notre Dame lost at home to Northern Illinois somehow, and Michigan defeated Ohio State in the shoe. Both these teams definitely had to rally, put together a string of games, and make it here. You mentioned Jeremiah Smith out in the perimeter. It's going to be really fun to see how much bracketing Notre Dame does, how much just straight up press coverage, because Notre Dame loves to run man coverage. Steve Xavier Watts get involved because he's more of a bigger body, and how that's going to go down. I do think it's going to be more of a lower scoring game than 50 points scored. or 60 points scored rather than what you have.
Yeah, I'm rethinking it already.
But I do like Ohio State to win, Notre Dame to cover. I think it's going to be close. Ohio State needed an 80-yard scoop and score to put the dagger into Texas. Other than that, it was really a really good game, and I think that Notre Dame is up to the challenge physically, even though they were a little kind of outgunned, it seemed, against Penn State. When you look at the stats in the box score, it really didn't seem like there was that much of a differential. So give me Notre Dame to cover this one, Ohio State to win, 27 to 20, 27-23.
Ooh, that would be something worth watching on the stretch at least. All right, and so you said this is the last edition of the year, maybe of the season. We may come back and do some recap if we want to, talk a little bit about Michigan, what they've done in the portal, what other teams have done in the portal, maybe a bit about Penn State, who seems to be running it back the same way Michigan did last year, Ohio State did this year.
That's the blueprint.
Pretty surprising. No one expected Abdul Carter to come back, just like no one expected marvelous Marvin Harrison to come back. Those two guys departed, but a lot of other people have returned. Bo Prabula, interestingly, hits the portal and goes to Mizzou. But I think Penn State is going to give it another go. Can they get over the hump against Ohio State next year? I don't know. I actually don't even know if they play Ohio State. I know they don't play Michigan. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about that. Maybe some initial thoughts on who teams to watch in spring practice or some quarterback battles or something like that. But as for the final prediction of the year, both of us are taking the Fighting Irish to cover. And both of us are taking Ohio State, sadly, to win.
Please, Irish, fight. Fight like never.
It's literally in your name.
Yeah.
Until the next time, I'm the Preacher.
I'm the Prodigy.
Peace.
Deuces.
All right.
Ben Johnson do the Bears.